Yo, what's going on, guys? All the peeps over here at Slim YGO's channel. My name's YGO Dre, but you can call me Dre. For those of you guys who don't know me, I do have my own YouTube channel, usually dedicated to Yu-Gi-Oh! I do mostly a lot of vlogs, deck profiles, and all that cool Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff, and I go to the same local as my man Slim here. So if you guys like the video, if you guys like my content, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. It'll be in the link below, or you can just search it up as well. YGO Dre YGO, you can check it out. Other than that, bro, you can also look at the vlogs that I have posted. I'm gonna have a vlog posted here for this exact same deck profile that I used to go undefeated at YBM. So yeah, check it out. Make sure you hit subscribe, like this video as well too, to basically help out Slim the OG. And without further ado, let's get into it. I did go undefeated with this deck, so I can show you guys what I did and how I piloted it. So starting off with the main deck stuff, I'll go ahead and do it within like the package. So the exact same packages that most Invoke Shaddoll players like to do or to go by. Usually it's the Invoke stuff, the Shaddoll stuff, and then the Dogmatika stuff. So we'll start with obviously the Invoke stuff. Alistair, the Invoker, 3 of Alistair, the Invoker. I will talk about Alistair right now. Honestly, guys, Alistair, he's been played since 2017, and I know everyone's tired of him. I know he's a walking meme, but honestly, guys, he's gonna be a walking meme for a long time until you guys stop using all of your hand traps on him. You guys don't even save the Imperm. You guys don't even save the Ashes with other hand traps. You guys just insta shotgun it, and then like they have the invocation in hand and they keep going. So as long as he keeps baiting out people, and you know, people realize that Makava like isn't as bad as they swear it is, like until he like keeps baiting people out, then he's gonna stay here. He's literally gonna stay here into the format until you guys stop falling for it. So that's usually all it is. Terraforming, triple meltdown, boom boom boom, double invocation, and that's gonna round up the usual Alistair lineup. Onto the Dogmatika stuff, we have 1 Dogmatika Ecclesia, 1 Dogmatika Floor, and then 1 Dogmatika Maximus. So I will talk about this real quick. Maximus is still played. I did cut down the Ecclesia to 1, but Maximus is still played mainly for just the fact that you use it to get into Winda if your hands are bad. So say for example, you only have like an Ecclesia in your hand and you bricked into the Ecclesia, or you don't have another way to get to basically the Schism. Maximus is your way to get there for surefire, because Ecclesia becomes Schism. Like if you draw Nadir Servant, or if you draw just Ecclesia by itself, it becomes your way to Winda. And 90% of the time, people aren't playing stuff that go against this unless you're playing literally a Dogmatika mirror. And that's the only thing that I fear in like the next upcoming set with Flunderies, is a lot of them are playing Dogmatika stuff. So you can always end up siding this out, or you know, just don't be like too happy or trigger happy with it when you start off with it. If anything, it's more of like a last resort kind of thing. But because of that, like in the finals, I was able to use it to be able to send off the app cologne so I could get into my Shaddoll engine, and this just makes a stronger Shaddoll card to like when you, especially when you have to play those slow grind games. So Maximus, really good, all the good stuff. Nothing else to say about Flora, and obviously the triple Nadir Servant within the package. This card is absolutely broken, bro. If it doesn't get ashed and this card resolves 90% of the time, you're gonna see like a +2 to literally engage. It is just so good, bro. You just get this itself is a Shaddoll card. Like it's not even like a Dogmatika card. It's a Shaddoll card. Like you send Cologne, you get so much free value, and like now that it's out in the Megaton, like I'm glad a lot of people are able to play it. So that's going to be the stuff for the Dogmatika lineup. Onto the Shaddoll lineup. The Shaddoll monsters are a lot smaller than usual people's. I have 1 Shaddoll Squamata, 1 Shaddoll Wendy, 1 Shaddoll Beast, and then the quote-unquote bad ones, 1 Shaddoll Dragon and 1 Shaddoll Aerial. So this is all I play. Squamata, Wendy, these are the ones you want to see, and these are the ones you want to send off of at least one of them off of Shaddoll Fusion. The one of Beast, it's honestly not even that bad seeing it anymore, because when you activate Nadir Servant, like you're cologning it away 90% of the time, and then you just get a free draw, so it's like not even bad to see in your hand usually, especially if you draw it with Nadir Servant. And then 1 Dragon and 1 Aerial. Dragon is really important because right now Imperial Order and Anti-Spell Fragrance is very much played in the format. You want to have this card just in case, and even like sometimes like it outs Mystic Mind if you have a monster on the board, or if they have a monster on the board, and you're able to like turn down into an app cologne or turn down into a construct. So Aerial as well too will always be broken, especially against those matchups that like rely heavily on the graveyard. So for example, Drytron and stuff like that, you get to banish like the Meteonis and then the Benten and then like a fucking Gamma, and it's just broken. It's just so good. So all this stuff really good. I will talk about Hedgehog. Hedgehog is not necessary. Honestly, I highly suggest if you guys are playing Hedgehog in your build, stop playing it. Like, just cut your Shaddoll count down. Like, these cards, as much as we love them, they are bricks, okay? They're absolute bricks. Cut them down. You don't want to see Hedgehog. It's very, very rare that I missed Hedgehog, and even when I did, it wasn't that, like, serious. Like I still ended up winning those games where I missed Hedgehog. So like, I don't think you guys are gonna miss Hedgehog. Try cutting it. It's not necessary. It doesn't get you anything other than like itself. If you're playing like a plus 40 build, like maybe you play Hedgehog, but other than that, cut these down, make it so your deck isn't as bricky as possible and it's more consistent for like long round tournaments. And yeah, that's basically gonna be the Shaddoll lineup. Now onto the hand trap lineup. This hand trap lineup is really, really important. Okay, triple Ash, triple Imperm, and last but not least, one Veiler. The reason why we play it like this is because not only are these some of the best hand traps in the format, but these are also the hand traps you lose to the most and that most people are playing at the moment, the most common hand traps that people are playing at the moment. These are the ones that you will see the most often, so that way you do not lose to them. Because the next card that I have right here, Cross Out Designator, this card is absolutely insane in this deck. It is so good. 90% of the time, this deck will lose to Ash Blossom. If your opponent opens up Ash Blossom and hits your Shaddoll Fusion, hits your Nadir Servant, and you don't have an answer for it, like 90% of the time you're just normal summoning Alistair, you're passing, or they're ashing your Alistair and then you don't have a play after that and you're just setting cards and you're passing. And that's what makes this deck quote unquote bad. Because when you get hit with Ash Blossom, or you get hit with Imperm, or you get hit with Veiler on your Alistair, it feels like you lost like half your engine. But if you cross out any of these hand traps at any point in time, you have access to all of your engines all the time, especially if you draw into cross out. So this card is just really, really good if played with the correct hand trap lineup. I was originally playing 3 Veiler, but I realized that was just a couple too many hand traps. I didn't want my deck to be too bricky. You do want to be able to Imperm people, you do want to be able to Ash people, but like the most important thing is that you're putting these in so that way they don't negate your Alistair, and you're putting these in so that way they don't negate your spells. And then when you activate the cross out designator, and usually you side in Joel and Lockbird, so that way the cross out helps with that as well too. You cross out like the Joel and Lockbird away, then you're off to the races and you're just able to play, and it makes the deck like 20 times better than it was before, because before like you were so reliant on like not losing or just like getting hand trapped and then just like, you know, losing to it because, you know, Alistair's all you had. Now like we have cross out and you were able to protect ourselves like much better. So it's honestly just so good. It makes the deck like 20 times better than it was before, and you're able to play hand traps with it already. So cool. And the one called by the grave, so that way you basically have 4 cross out designators. So going first in this deck is 20 times easier, and even going second, because a lot of the times Tri Brigade, they have like a lot of cards that are hand traps during your turn. You can play it that way as well. So cool. Now onto the spell cards, or the rest of the spell cards. Shaddoll Fusions. This card's still broken. This card's still so good. I do feel like Invoke Dogmatika requires the Shaddoll package to still be good. I think the Invoke Dogmatika build isn't that good. Maybe with Fusion Destiny, it'll be a little bit better. But right now, the Invoke Dogmatika build with just hand traps, like I don't think it's strong enough. I think it needs the Shaddoll Fusion and like just the Shaddoll monsters in general to like have those power plays to be able to win, to be able to break boards, and to be able to summon Apcalone and do like actual strong stuff. It's one of those unfair cards, you know what I mean? Like this deck needs the stuff that makes it unfair. And every deck needs the stuff that makes it unfair, and Window will always make it unfair, as well as Shaddoll Fusion and stuff like that. Pot of Prosperity, I do only play 2. I do want to talk about this card. This card is really, really good in this deck because there's a lot of times where your opening hands are only like 1 engine, or they're only like not enough engine. You only need that 1 power card, like that 1 Nadir Servant, that 1 Meltdown, that 1 Alistair, that 1 Shaddoll Fusion, like that 1 card that would like push your deck from like tier 2 to like tier 0 depending on the hand that you have. And Pot of Prosperity fixes that instantly. The only issue obviously is because you don't want to play 3. You don't want it to clog, and you don't want it to later on be a detriment to you because you're activating too many pot of Prosperities. If you banish too much of your extra deck, like this deck will run out of gas really, really fast, like probably within that turn. And you don't want to do that with your pot of Prosperities. Like this is to make your hand more broken, and that's it. You only want to resolve 1 and no more than that within a single game. So that way you can just banish a couple of monsters that you don't need and then get to the power cards you need. Very rarely do I banish 6 off of this card as well too. That's only when my hand is like terrible. If I know like I need a Nadir Servant, or I know I need a Magical Meltdown, or I know I need a Shaddoll Fusion, then I'll banish 6. But other than that, you're almost always banishing 3, and it's usually just like the Super Poly targets or whatever else, or the Nadir Servant targets that you don't really need, right? So really good card. Cool. Super Poly, 2 of Super Poly. Honestly, this card isn't as good as it used to be, but it's still very, very, very broken. I would not take it out. As long as you're playing Starving Venom Fusion in the extra deck, this card just outs like full Dark boards, full Phantom Knight boards, full Dragoon boards. Like, it outs so many good things with Starving Venom Fusion. And not only that, you set like Alistair, or you set any Shaddol versus Drytron and their Herald of Ultimateness board or their Herald of Perfection board, and you just Super Poly it away for Construct or for Mechaba, and then all of a sudden you're just gonna win the game because you already Super Polyed away their like multiple negates. Now you just need to deal with the orange lights that are on their board. This card's really, really good still, and I imagine it's going to be a little bit better later on with Phoenix Enforcer out, so keep an eye out for this card. I suggest maybe playing 3 in the future, but for now 2 is like pretty good for me at the moment. Cool, and for the trap lineup, Shaddol Schism, Dogmatika Punishment. These cards are great. These cards will always be good. Shaddol Schism is what pushed the deck over to the edge. I'm glad that it's not as pricey anymore. It's definitely cheaper than it was before. But like I always like to say, if you're going to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And you're going to spend money on Yu-Gi-Oh!, make sure you spend money to win, right? Cool. On to the extra deck. The main extra deck monsters. We'll start off with the Shaddol's El Shaddol Construct. It was very, very rare that I ever needed more than just one construct. Usually Construct, the only time that you're summoning it is to summon it because your hand is bad, so you're summoning it off of just like a Shaddol Fusion during going first, and then you're dumping Schism, and then you're sending it to the grave for Gravity Controller to be able to add back the Schism, and then you're sending Schism and you're passing. If not that, then you're using it for Shaddol Fusion, or you're using it for Schism to be able to send a light, or you're using it for Super Poly to be able to summon off of the Drytron board. Other than that though, like it's because of that, like it's kind of like a utility card. It becomes a utility card at that point. So I think 1 is fine. It was very rare that I ever wanted to see another one, so I think 1 is still a good number, especially with the Invoke Dogmatika list. Like if you don't play the Shaddol stuff, like you can only play 1 of like each Shaddol monster, like that's usually just completely fine, and it's not that big of a deal. Cool. 2 El Shaddol Avaclone. Avaclone is like really, really important, especially with Nadir Servant and everything. So making sure that you're sending it to the grave, and then adding like other stuff, like just being able to like send it off a Nadir Servant and make sure you have the other one for Shaddol Fusion later. 2 is very, very necessary, especially in the Shaddol Fusion build, so I would make sure to play it. And last but not least, everyone's favorite card, El Shaddol Winda. The monster that'll win you so many games. Literally so many games. It'll win you everything. Literally you summon it, and then you just like watch them struggle like 90% of the time, especially you have a negate or you have an Alistair in your hand. Like as long as this card exists, combo will always be in fear no matter what. So Winda still good. Not only that, it has a good matchup against Sword Soul coming up and the new Lyrilisk Tri Brigade that people are playing right now. Winda's just really strong and it'll do really, really well against that stuff. The only fear is Flunderies, right? But once we start figuring out the meta for that, like I think Shaddol players will be okay. Cool. And then onto the Invoke monsters. 1 Invoke Agwides, 1 Mechaba, 1 Raijin. So I will talk about Raijin real quick. The only reason I was playing this was because I wanted to have a Super Poly target for Appaloosa, because a lot of people were making Appaloosa on the board, and I wanted to be able to have a Super Poly target for that. But I realized that like 90% of the time, like Shaddol Fusion is enough to deal with Appaloosa if you have Shaddol Fusion up. Not only that, Raijin itself, like it's not like that good of a card, and you can't summon it. I wished it was Purgatrio. Like a lot of the times I played matches and I wish this was Purgatrio, and I could have won if it was Purgatrio. At least games like that I had seen. And yeah, honestly I probably would change this back to Purgatrio. 1 Mechaba, Mechaba was always good, and 1 Agwides. Agwides wins me games and it's outs Dragoon, so it's pretty good. Cool. And on to the other ones. 1 Titanclad, 1 Ints, and 1 Starving Venom Fusion. These cards were usually getting sent off of Prosperity, like at least 2 of them at a time. Like we're getting sent off of Prosperity, and then maybe like a Shaddol or something like that, or maybe like a Verte. Usually Starving Venom Fusion was being sent, but if it wasn't being sent because I was playing against a dark deck, then I was just using it as a Super Poly target, which is pretty nice. Ints is very rarely used. It's very, very good against what's it called, Imperial Order, obviously, because you want to be able to deal with that. And then Titanclad, obviously it's Titanclad, searches out the Dogmatika stuff. Nothing much else to say there. And then finally the Link monsters, Almirage, Secure Gardna, Gravity Controller, and Verte Anaconda. Cool. So mostly Almirage and Secure Gardna, these cards, like you really, really, really want to play them if you're playing the Maximus build. Not only that, like you need this for the Maximus, so you can't play Artemis if you're doing this. This is just good for the Maximus, and not only that, like this is good for Purgatrio. So if you need to summon Purgatrio, just having that extra Link monster in the grave is really, really helpful. And there's honestly a good amount of times where like I know that they already have a light in the grave, or like I already have a light in the grave. I can summon Almirage, or just not summon these 2 at all, and use them as Prosperity targets later. So you just want to be smart with like your stuff later on in the future. And obviously gravity controller, so that way I can just use it for schism and shoot it off. You want to be able to have this so that way you can add back your Shaddol cards. And then lastly, Vertanaconda. This card is so broken. I can't wait until, you know, Fusion Destiny is just popping off with this card. It's gonna be insane. And not only that, like, you can Shaddol Fusion multiple times. You can use it to send Super Poly. Like, this card is broken. And the fact that it's getting a reprint maximum gold, that's pretty sick. So it'll be a little bit more affordable for those people that you know, want to be able to play like this build of Shaddols. It'll be pretty good. Cool. And then onto the side deck. For the first cards in the side deck, I have 3 Droll and Lockbird. You want to be able to respect Drytron. Drytron is the best deck, like technically the best combo deck in the format. It's just really good going second. This card's really good going second against them, and like you always want to respect them as much as possible when they go first, because even if your hand is broken, like Shaddol Fusion, Nadir Servant, whatever you have in your you may have in your hand, Droll and Lockbird will be really strong against them. Sometimes like you can't even break the board that they make because they have like ultimateness, perfection, and a million negates. So you want to have Droll and Lockbird usually. Cool. Artifact Lancia. Not much to say here. Phantom Knights, Tri Brigade, like the cards, they're just really good against things that banish like a bunch of cards, especially when you shotgun it. You just got to be kind of smart with it when you play around with Schism, because there's been times where like you can screw yourself over with Schism up. So you just got to be really careful with the way that you play with Lancia, and make sure you're using it like at the opportune times. And a lot of times it can just be a fusion target as well too. Also, like it'll lock your invocation from banishing, or your, sorry, not your invocation, your Macabre from banishing stuff as well too. So be very like careful with this card. It's just really strong against like certain matchups. Cool. Triple Dark Ruler no more. Dark Ruler, I needed to going second card. I've never really liked this card too much in my current build right now, because like I want to be able to fusion summon and then like clear the board and then like OTK and like, but 90% of the time like the deck doesn't really do that. Like it sets up Schism for the next turn. So Dark Ruler is pretty good for that exact reason. Whereas Droplets, like you don't really want to send cards because 90% of the times you need the cards in your hand for Macabre, or you need the cards in your hand for fusion material, or whatever you might need them for. So a lot of the times Dark Ruler is just the better choice, because it just like negates the effects of the monsters, so then they can't really respond, and then you can Shaddol Fusion in and just pop off. So it's pretty good. And in tandem as well too with the next card, Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm is really good, especially when you Dark Ruler Lightning Storm people. That's really strong if you need to be able to do that, or just hit their back row. It's good against trap decks obviously, so this is like basically my stuff against trap lineup. The Lightning Storms, the Cosmic Cyclones, and then the Red Reboot. You still got to play outs to Mystic Mine and Anti-Spell Fragrance for these ones, because these cards aren't good against Anti-Spell Fragrance. Like they're literally terrible, and so you still need like some form of quick play to be able to deal with, you know, like that Imp Order, or that Anti-Spell Fragrance, or that Mystic Mine. You know what I mean? You still need to play something. And Twin Twister, like I said, same reasoning with Droplet. I don't want to discard cards in Shaddolls. You really don't, because you need the cards in your hand usually for fusion material, or you need them for Macabre negates, or whatever kind of other like hand trap discards you need. And Red Reboot's absolutely broken. Shout out to Lawrence. This card is busted. So all right, other than that, like that's basically the full deck profile, guys. Yeah, if you guys want to like subscribe to my channel, subscribe to it, click the link below. Subscribe to Slim's channel. Make sure you give him a like. He's the OG. Thanks again to him for featuring me on the channel. And check out YBM as well too. Make sure you buy stuff from them on TCG Player, and check out the locals. We're always there, and they have tournaments all the time. So alrighty guys, yeah, thank you so much. Later, peace.